Hello, this is Gloucester Township Mayor Dave Mayer with another update regarding COVID-19. Joining me today are our superintendents of schools, Mr. John Bilodeau from our Gloucester Township Public Schools, and Dr. Brian Repici from the Black Horse Pike Regional School District. And gentlemen, I thank you very much for joining me today to talk about our school's response to COVID-19. First, also let me thank you and your staff and the faculty for the tremendous effort and work that you all are doing to continue to provide the students of Gloucester Township with quality education. So I thank you for that. Brian, let me start with you, representing our high schools, Timber Creek, Highland, and Triton. I know our students for several years now have had Chromebooks, and so they're used to working with Chromebooks, but certainly not under these circumstances where the distance learning is occurring. Just curious to see how that's going for the district.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, for hosting this event. Hello, Mr. Bilodeau. Always nice to see you, sir. So yes, this obviously is a very different context for our students. Our students have had their Google Chromebooks now for 3 years. And so they've been operating on the Google platform for over those 3 years. So they are used to logging in and getting assignments from Google Classroom. But certainly in this new context of being at home and learning is quite different for them. And even though our teachers are doing their very best in trying to be inventive and engaging, they are posting office hours, they're attending to students' needs as best as they can. Teachers are hosting live lessons. They're also placing on Google Classroom recorded lessons. And they're also posting Google Classroom lessons and assignments by 9 a.m. every day. But it's altogether different. Our teachers are doing a tremendous job trying to engage and invent. And our students are, by and large, responding very well. It is different for them. Of course, they are challenged to self-direct and self-motivate in some cases. But our teachers, administrators, our counselors and child study team members, our staff members are communicating with them as often as possible. And so even though this is completely challenging, and it's certainly more complex than what it used to be, we're making the best out of what we have. And I think we're using our technological resources and personnel to best meet the needs of our students.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I mean, it's uncharted waters right now, right? And we're all trying to deal with that, but it's a lot of great work and that you've already done and your faculty has already done, but certainly there's a lot of hard work ahead. So I appreciate those efforts. John, you know, it's being the superintendent of our K-8 school district, which is the largest K-8 school district in the state of New Jersey. Dealing with younger children, that I'm sure presents some challenges as well. So how has the district fared with remote learning on the local basis?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Dr. Repici. It's good to see you both. Yes, I think that there are many similarities from what Brian had said, but yet at the elementary level, there are differences. The similarities would be in our middle school, those grades 6 through 8. Those students had been taking their technology devices back and forth each day. The curriculum, in many cases, is web-based. The staffs in those 3 middle schools are doing an excellent job. And I think the transition from, you know, the brick and mortar format from a middle school environment to remote learning may have been a little bit easier, but it still required our staff, the fine teachers in all 3 of those buildings, to really transition and be more dynamic with that delivery of instruction. And I think they're supported by great administrations. And so that, I believe, was when we first saw this, something that we knew we could manage quite well because, in fact, those buildings had been doing it. There's still challenges involved, and I really salute the professionalism of staff everywhere, to be quite frank. Elementary was different. Elementary, we had Chromebooks, but they were in carts. Students didn't transport them every day. And it was not as fluid as either maybe the high school district or a middle school. So we, in advance, saw this, I think, coming from the state leadership and had an opportunity to buy some resources. And on the advent of remote learning, we sent 2,100 Gloucester Township students, elementary, home for the first time with their Chromebook device. And they have been wonderful students, and their teachers have been so supportive, and they have, after the first transitional days, been very engaged as well. So I really salute that students and the staff and parents, we're kind of all in this together. The parents have become, in many cases, much more engaged. And I really salute them for their efforts as well.
Yeah, thanks, John. I mean, that's a terrific planning. I know it's not easy to get those 2,100 Chromebooks home with students. And so a tremendous job by you and the faculty. So appreciate that very much. And I have to tell you, another thing I would like to talk about, which is very important as well, is the provision of lunches for students. You know, typically students will go to school and be able to get their breakfast and lunch. This has changed things, but the two of you at the two districts really have come together in a great partnership to provide, lunches to our students. And Brian, maybe you can describe exactly how we're doing that.
Sure. Roughly 35% of the students in our schools receive free or reduced lunch services. And roughly in terms of numbers for the high school district, I think you're talking in the neighborhood of about 1,800 students, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so we don't have a private food service. We have a self-operating cafeteria service. And I can't say enough about the people working in our cafeterias. I mean, they're putting their lives at risk by coming into work, making food provisions for our community, serving the food to the community in a curbside pickup fashion. And Mr. Bilodeau and I early on agreed that any community member in Gloucester Township can pick up food either at the high school or the middle school, regardless of really where they live or regardless of what grade they're in. And I think that speaks to our partnership, and I think it speaks to John and I's communication throughout this new context. But it's critically important that we continue to serve the food to the community. Right now, we are serving food Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we're giving multiple days of food provisions to our community members on those days. Over the spring break was a challenge, and what we did is we provided several days worth of food, almost a boxed amount of food to families before we went on spring break.
Yeah, no, that's terrific, terrific work, Brian. And you mentioned the workers that are coming in and preparing the food, and you're right. That's so commendable, their efforts and their actions. And we've spoken about that. And John, you and I have spoken about how commendable that is, and we thank them for doing that. And so, John, the middle schools are engaged with this, and I know you've been to the middle schools and saw this in action. How many, do you have numbers as to how many on average meals that we're serving?
Yes, I know that for the month of March, and March was truncated. It was only about half a month that the middle schools delivered, but our number was about 13,000 meals then. But Mayor, I just wanted to mention that each week and I'm certain that Dr. Repici sees that each week, more and more of the numbers are going up. More people are either finding out about it, or in some way in their own home, things are challenging. And they know that that food distribution exists at both the high school and the middle school. So we are serving literally thousands of meals per week now. And if this broadcast accomplishes one thing, we are one big community here in Gloucester Township, and irrespective of grade level or where you attend school, if you need food for your children, the high schools are doing it. And as Brian said, Mayor, we talk all the time that we're going to feed the families first, and we'll worry about everything else later. And it's been really great. I appreciate the Gloucester Township Police Department partnering us. They are there each day with these food service workers who are just heroes for becoming essential in this crisis, and have done just a great effort for the local community. And we need to continue on now that we're extended again. And we will be there each day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As Dr. Repici said, we give multiple days out each visit, and there's no questions asked. All you have to do is show up and ask how many, and you'll get food.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining me today and providing this update to the residents of Gloucester Township. It's such important information, and our residents can continue to get information through the various websites, both our regional district and our local district. All the information about remote learning, the lunches, they're on the website. So we encourage anyone who has questions to visit our school's website, and of course our municipal website at glotwip.com, where we have up-to-date information as well. And I thank you again, gentlemen, for the great effort that you're putting into this, that your faculty and your staff and all the students are doing to continue to educate the students of Gloucester Township. And I would remind our residents that although the municipal building is currently closed to the public, we are still responding to people's requests and questions through email or checking voicemail. So please continue to follow us on Facebook, as well as check out our website as well. So gentlemen, again, thank you very much. My best to you and your families, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank you, Mr.
Mayor, appreciate it.